I didn't think the moment that would shake my marriage would start with a fertility appointment and a question as simple as, "Do you take testosterone?" But that's exactly where everything cracked. I'm 30, my husband is 36, and for most of our relationship, I've lived with the reality that he's one of those people with an unreal physique. He's been bodybuilding for over 15 years, disciplined, consistent, the kind of guy people stare at in the gym and then pretend they weren't staring. When we got together, I was 21 and he was 27. I was young, naive. I believed him when he said he was natural. I only asked because other men asked me all the time. Is he natural? Like, it was normal dinner conversation, and he always brushed it off. Over the years, his story started to change. It shifted from "I'm natural" to "I'm natural now" to "I used to take tea years ago." That last version came with a memory I can't unfeel. I remember telling him clearly, and I mean clearly, that I was massively against drugs, and if he ever went back on testosterone and it affected us having a baby, I would never forgive him. It wasn't a casual comment. It was a boundary. A line in permanent ink. Fast forward to last December. I was cleaning our apartment and found testosterone. My husband is a bit of a hoarder, so my first thought wasn't betrayal. It was logic. Maybe it was old. Maybe it got accidentally moved, so I did something that I now realize was both innocent and accidentally brilliant. I hid it in my sock drawer. Within 48 hours, he confronted me, angry, accusing me of taking it. That moment told me everything. Because if it was truly old and forgotten, it wouldn't have been missed. I asked him straight out if he'd been taking it. He got defensive, tried to twist the moment into an argument about me touching his stuff, but I wasn't playing that game. This wasn't about a drawer. This was about our future. We were set to get married in the summer, so I gave him an ultimatum, me or testosterone. Not because I wanted control, but because I wanted a family with a man who could tell the truth. He promised he wouldn't take it again. He promised my parents too. And things settled down. We got married, and we became that overly excited newlywed couple that talks about babies the way other people talk about vacation plans. We were eager to start trying. Honestly, he seemed even more eager than I was, which softened everything. It made me believe we had moved past the danger zone. So we tried, and waited. Time started to stretch into that weird fog where every month feels like a quiet test you're failing. Eventually, we did what couples do when hope starts to fray. We got fertility testing. We got the results today. Mine came back fine. His, no sperm whatsoever. 0. I felt the air change in the room, the kind of silence that has weight. The doctor asked him directly if he takes testosterone. My husband said, 12 months ago. The doctor nodded and said he'd expect sperm to recover within 3 to 4 months after stopping. Which meant, based on what my husband claimed, he should have had recovery by now. So the doctor explained that they'd need more tests to figure out why there was still no sperm. My first instinct was to comfort my husband. Because that's what you do when someone you love gets hit with a life-changing fear. I reached for him emotionally, instinctively. But then I noticed something that sent a cold shock through me. When the doctor said 3 to 4 months, my husband seemed less devastated than he had been a minute earlier. Like the math in his head wasn't adding up. Like he knew something I didn't. We stepped out of the appointment, and I asked him a question I never wanted to ask. Was 12 months really the last time you took tea? He tried to dodge it. I asked again. He deflected. I asked again. Calm, controlled. But my heart was pounding. After some back and forth, he admitted it. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. I don't even know how to describe the feeling that hit me. It wasn't just anger, it was betrayal mixed with grief. The way your stomach drops when you realize the person you trusted most has been quietly gambling with your future. He lied. He didn't just lie once. He lied through a promise. He lied through an engagement. He lied through a wedding. He lied while we were actively trying to create a life. And suddenly everything he'd said about being eager for kids felt like a performance with a hidden asterisk. I felt like time had been stolen from me. Not just months, trust, security, the version of our future I'd pictured in my head. I told him exactly how I felt, that he risked our future, that he wasted my time, that he risked his own health, that he risked our chance to become parents, and what hurt almost as much. He got angry at me. He told me I wasn't being supportive, that I should be focused on fixing the problem, not interrogating the reason it happened, that I married him knowing his history, so I should be okay with it. And for a split second, I actually questioned myself. Because that's what manipulation does. It makes you stand in the wreckage and wonder if you're being dramatic for noticing the fire. But here's the truth I keep coming back to. This isn't about a mistake. It's about a choice he kept making, a secret he kept protecting, a future he kept putting second. I'm not enraged because of a medical result. I'm enraged because he looked me in the eyes, knew my biggest boundary, and crossed it anyway, then tried to make me feel like the villain when the consequences finally showed up. So now I'm standing in this awful emotional crossroads. I love my husband, but I don't recognize the version of him who could lie this easily while we were trying to build a family. And I don't know what happens after trust like this breaks. Because babies require more than hope. They require honesty. CTA for engagement. If you were in my position, would you be able to move forward without resentment? Would you treat this like a painful mistake you work through together? Or a betrayal big enough to change how safe you feel in the marriage? I really want your honest take. Is my anger justified? Or am I letting emotions eclipse the path forward?